In this video we finally test the brand new 2024 spec Rotax Max Senior engine, and we're doing it at this awesome old school track. Will the 2024 engine be faster? Well, watch this video and find out.
Hey guys, what's up, Redactions here and welcome back to this brand new video. And today it is time for yet another testing day, because today we're going to Pottendijk Emmen to prepare for our first race of the year. A track which I haven't really featured that much on the channel because I just had no business in being there. But this time we do, so yeah, let's just hop in the car. This thing's even more packed than last time because I'm bringing more stuff. And I also have a camera assistant for today.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's hit the road and I'll see you guys over there. Well guys, we have arrived at Pottendijk Emmen and there's pretty much no one here. Also, if you look behind me, you can see that we are pretty much in the middle of nowhere. There's actually a big meme about this part of the Netherlands. And you can see that that meme is not created on some baseless information. It's pretty empty here. Anyways, so now time to unpack everything, and the track is a little bit wet. Yeah, it's not completely dry, but I think it's dry enough for slicks. So let's unpack. Alright, so pretty ready to go now. Just put a little bit of fuel in, check the tire pressure, and then we can go out on track. I think I'm going to fill it up about halfway, and after that it's time to start to see if it all works, because I don't know. Right, so everything works, and now we need to pay the track fee, but yeah, the gate's closed and I don't know about how or what. And yeah, we can go out on track in like 20 minutes, so I don't know. Right, a few minutes later, open. I think we can go out in about 10 minutes now. Still have to figure out which way we're going, because you can actually run this track in both directions, and it kind of depends on the day what direction it is. So I think we'll figure that out now. First, let's pay for the track fee, and then see you guys on track.
Welcome to the most empty part of the Netherlands, aka circuit Pottendijk Emmen. You guys haven't really seen this track because frankly, I have had no business in being here for the last few years. Now we do, however, because the first race of the Dutch Tillotson T4 series will be held here. Anyways, let's see what this very unique and old school track is like. We start our lap on this very long and very bumpy straight. It had rained just a few hours before we got here, so we need to brake very early for this very long left-hander, which just goes on forever until we get a hairpin followed by another right-hand hairpin. 3 corners in rapid succession will follow, in which we take a big amount of curb in all of them to 8 rotation and slingshot us out of the first sector. 30 brake horsepower launches us towards this left-hander, which we use to set up the next fast right-hander. Keep it tight on exit to make the next twisty bit a straight line. Use this curb on the right here to keep to the right as much as possible, so that we can take a wide entry into the slow hairpin. Take the apex curb and let the kart flow wide into this right-hander, which is flat in the dry, but now not so much. The last corner is a hairpin with some Zandvoort style banking. Keep the back end in check and let the Rotax Senior engine launch you onto the straight to do it all over again here in Pottendijk. So a bumpy, old school track that poses a great physical challenge. I actually quite like the layout, and I think it's a shame that the track is in the condition it is right now. Pottendijk used to be the third main track here in the Netherlands. Various races and championships were held here, but after many years of complaints, mainly about safety, the track lost its license to host official national races. Not to be unfair to the complainers, I have seen 2 big crashes in my career that could have ended fatally. Both of them were here. From the moment the track lost its license, it started declining in both popularity and relevance. To make things worse, personal tragedy struck the family that owns this place. As of 2024, the entire complex is for sale. I sincerely hope that one day the track will be sold to someone with the right intentions and a very big budget, so that it can be properly reworked and fully live up to its potential of being one of the best tracks here in the Netherlands. I'm glad the Dutch T4 series decided to include it in the calendar, because it is a great track in my opinion. Anyways, enough Dutch karting politics for now. After getting used to driving on slicks again, we could start optimizing. The track was slowly drying and more people started showing up to the track, including this shifter kart here. And this is what happens when you are faster in the corners, but he has almost double the amount of horsepower. As you guys know, we only have 30 brake horsepower and you can see that he absolutely books me in a straight line. Then when we get to the corners we get held up massively, and that is down to the fact that for some reason he decided to go on wet tires. Normally passing a driver like this would require some planning, like overtaking in the technical sector. However, this driver was running some very unusual and unpredictable lines, so basically I just had to give up and let him go. Speaking of having the upper hand in power, during my tire pressure pit stop I noticed there was an Ayami X30 also testing here this day. Ayami versus Rotax is probably the biggest karting debate ever, so let's settle it once and for all. I let him overtake me here so that I can try to use him as a tow and set some good lap times. However, the tires he uses are a few seconds per lap slower than mine, so I catch back up to him pretty quickly, which I did not expect. Another thing I did not expect though was us having the upper hand in power across basically the entire rev range. Coming out of this hairpin here you can see that the exit speed is about the same, but you can see that we can put alongside very easily and just power past him. The track started drying more and more, and eventually I felt like we needed to make a setup change. I felt like the kart was understeering and that the front of the kart was just not stiff enough, so I decided to switch to a stiffer front torsion bar. Front torsion bars are a great way to make a quick setup change and they definitely make a big difference. We went out again and the track got a fair bit drier. Here's a quick tip to get better at go-karting. In half-wet conditions like this it is very important that you can read the asphalt. It is actually really simple. If the asphalt has a light color like this, that means that it is dry and has grip as usual. When you see dark spots like these ones here, be careful. This is semi-wet asphalt and it can be slippery. Usually when your tire temperatures are good though, you can sort of drive over it like it's not there, like you can see in this clip. Lastly, if you see a shiny patch, be very careful, because that is standing water. If you go over this you will lose grip instantly and have a very high risk of spinning or going off, even when you're going in a straight line. So the best way to tackle a corner in these conditions is to drive around the wet patches, without diverting too much from the racing line, like I do here. Avoid the wet inside by staying in the middle of the track where it's dry and then use the dry apex to complete the turn. So basically, keep your kart on the dry stuff. It was getting drier and drier until eventually most corner speeds were pretty much back up to normal. I had been on the track for almost 40 minutes at this point, so I decided that was enough for the first 2 sessions and I came into the pits.
Alright, so we just completed 2 sessions. It was a bit getting used to driving in the dry again, because that's a really long time ago by now. First of all, you saw us change the front torsion bar. This kind of changes the way the stiffness at the front works, so it really changes the whole dynamic of the kart actually. Then also I'm trying to fiddle out some things with my carburetor, because I felt like the engine wasn't really running that well in the top revs. Could also be exhaust, but I don't know. So now we're going to switch to the MXC rims, because we are still running the standard MXJ rims and usually they give a lot of grip, but sometimes when it doesn't work on these ones you just need to switch to the MXCs. Also I'm going to change the spark plug, because that might also have to do with the fact that it's not running, because it's running the spark plug for the coldest weather and it's not really that cold. Right, MXCs on, different spark plug. Decided to leave the front end the same, because it's important not to do too many setup changes at once. And also again we're going to swap the exhaust during the session, because I'm kind of curious to see how they compare in the dry, because I don't know that yet.
So yeah, let's go.
During this session the track had once again dried a little bit more. It actually surprised me how slow this track was drying, despite us having a fair bit of sunlight and some decent wind today. Anyways, I was not happy with the way the kart was feeling in this session. It was very slidey on the back end and very understeery on the front end, despite us giving it more grip at the front. Changing the exhaust did make a difference however. Let's see if you can hear it on the camera this time. When we have a look at the outside shots, you can also see that the inside rear wheel is not really picking up that well. It's constantly going up and down and that causes some major imbalance in the kart. You can also see that by the way I am jerking the wheel, the kart is not doing what I wanted just yet. I definitely needed to change both my driving and the setup if I wanted to find more lap time. Before we end this session though, take a listen to the engine. It sounds absolutely beautiful from the outside.
Right, time for the lunch break. Yeah, I'm not really feeling comfortable with this setup. I feel like the back end's really slidey. It could be down to the track. Yeah, I don't really know. Tried some radical things as well with the tire pressure. Going to do even more crazy stuff after this. But yeah, just have to find out why it's sliding at the back so much. Anyways, the exhaust is definitely good. Felt really quick out of the corner, so that's important. And I think after this, we're finally going to test the 2024 engine, and I'm really curious to see how that will go. Oh, oh. 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 Lads, after 2 weeks, it is time. 2024 barrel, and I can finally now tell you guys if it's quicker or not, because I've been getting a lot of comments asking if it's quicker, but I don't know yet because this is the first time I'll be testing. So yeah, curious. Anyways, we first have to mount that, and that takes a little bit of time, and yeah.
I'd seen before. Now, when I got you, it's all gonna be alright.
Well guys, moment of truth. Hasn't run yet, but we'll find out if it works.
Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I. Just you and I. Only you. Fight around. You. Turn it all around. You. Can pick me off the ground so we can fly again.
Yes boys, finally time to properly test the new 2024 cylinder. The cylinder is brand new and the rest of the engine is used. It had already been running on the dyno, so after taking it easy for the outlap, time to properly give it some kick. So the big question, is it faster? Well, I'm thrilled to announce that the answer to that question is yes, but not a lot. Biggest difference I noticed was definitely the middle rev range. When we take a look at this pre-2024 dyno sheet, we can see that the power of a Rotax Max engine kicks in at about 7 to 8000 RPM, with a peak of 30 horsepower at around 11,000 RPM. I would say that the power band of a 2024 cylinder would look something like this. It kicks in slightly more aggressively at 7000 RPM and has a higher peak at 11,000. Also, the little dip in power in between the two peaks seems to be a little bit more subtle with the 2024 cylinder. I could definitely feel the difference when I was driving, but can you also hear it on camera? Listen closely. Let me know in the comments if you can hear a difference. So overall, I would say the new cylinder is faster, but not by very much. Of course, if you want to stay competitive, every little bit matters, so you should definitely switch to a 2024 cylinder. Also keep in mind that this is just a regular testing engine I privately own. By no means is this engine optimized for racing, and it is just built to do laps and last long, not to give the maximum power. I can pretty much guarantee you that with rental engines from engine tuners, the difference will be much bigger and the engines will be even faster. Anyways, we kept on trying to improve the setup, which I was still not really comfortable with. It just felt like I had an overall lack of grip on all four wheels and some issues with the gear ratio. Anyways, despite that, I still had a blast out there on track, so enjoy the highlights of this session.
Alright, we just completed the first session with the new engine, and I have to say it's faster, but not by much, like it's only a little bit faster. So yeah, that's that, I guess. The main thing that I noticed is that like the peak performance at like 11,500 RPM, that's a little bit better, but apart from that, I think it's, yeah, only a minor difference. But yeah, setup struggles continue because I still cannot find the right setup. I tried every single tire pressure imaginable. I tried a really big range of them actually. But yeah, the back end just keeps sliding and I don't know what it is. So now I'm, yeah, I think I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to the standard torsion bar at the front. I'm also going to switch back to the standard rims because I think that might solve some issues. Also, I think I want to go up on sprocket because I feel like we're running too small of a sprocket. It needs a bit more pull out of the corners and I'm not getting it at the moment. Yeah, time for some more work.
See this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down.
Alright guys, so everything's now completely stock. Stock rims, stock track width at the front, so a little bit less wide than we usually run. Stock torsion bar, stock rear track width, everything stock.
Standard.
Yeah, it's a pro tip for you guys. If you are doing a lot of setup and it all doesn't seem to work, just go back to the complete stock factory setup. Usually your problems will be almost solved, but yeah, we'll just see about this one now. Also changed the sprocket, so yeah, curious to see how it will go. Also going to test the new exhaust that I got, and yeah, should be good.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down. Clear skies.
So, the car's back to the stock standard factory setup. Like I said, when you have been doing a lot of setup work and it appears to only be going worse, go back to the standard setup. 9 times out of 10 this will completely solve all of the problems you had. This trick works especially well on cards made by the OTK Kart group, because the standard setup on these things is just ridiculously good. I don't know how they managed to achieve this, but oh my god does it work. We managed to improve by almost a full second and the confidence in the kart was back. Then after a small tire pressure change, we went even faster. The kart was on rails, the sprocket change worked perfectly and I was having a lot of fun. To end this day, let's ride on board for one last hot lap.
Told you, back to standard setup, always works. So yeah, after messing around with the setup for the whole day, going back to stock resulted in pretty much a gain of yeah, almost a full second, which is quite a lot. But yeah, I think that was an okay day. Tested the new engine, wasn't really that big of a difference if I'm honest. Sure, it was a little bit quicker, but it wasn't like a huge difference, just a little bit better. Yeah, now time to break it all down again and go back. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. You know you really help me when you do that. I'm really looking forward to racing here in T4. We're going testing here a few more times, once with this thing again and once with the T4, and after that it's already race week. The season's almost starting again. Last year we also had a race here in T4, went pretty well. We ended up actually, well, I'm not going to tell you. Check out the video, it's on screen right here. This video however is done and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.